friends. Today I want to speak about personal development plan creation, or PDP. And this topic is quite important to me because of two reasons. So first of all, I started to help people doing personal development plans about 10 years ago when I started to work as a team lead and then as a tech lead. And also I do this for myself. And second reason is that I see that there is a big demand for personal development plan across people with whom I work, though companies pay not that big attention to that, and even if attention is paid to that, the personal development plans are quite flat and not deep, and they are not followed, and they don't help people. So I want to share with you my approach to how I do personal development planning. So let's start. And we will start from some reviewing of the agenda of the talk. So I will first pay some attention to the problem statement. It will tell you about why is it a problem and what are the consequences of this problem. Then I want to tell you about how long-term plan looks around the PDP. Then I want to show you how PDP is created. And then in the end, I will tell you about the bonus. Will tell you how you can get a free PDP session with me. So listen till the end. And let's start from the problem. So PDP basically is it's a document usually with some goals listed for a particular employee, and these goals are tied to some time period, and usually there is some measurable component in that, like how can we understand that this goal is achieved. And salary raises are often connected with the PDP, and yeah, if personal development is planned, then it often happens like periodically when one PDP period ends and the next one starts with new goals. And the goal of that is to maximize the personal growth of a person in connection with company goals, like get the synergy of what a person wants and what the company needs, and try to find intersections between that. And basically this video is both for employees who want to get a PDP and for managers who help to build PDPs. If you are an employee, you can just do this by yourself if you want it, if you don't have a mentor who can do this for you. So I will provide you with the method that will help you to do this by yourself. And what's the problem with PDP with in general? So first of all, they are in most cases absent. People demand them, but they're not created. Second is, even if they're created, they're superficial and they don't help. Like they are either not, people don't follow them, or they follow but the goals are not important or not helpful, so it does make sense. And as a result, there is too slow and too let's say superficial personal growth, and the person is demotivated, and the company gets high churn. So people go out, and companies have low expertise because people don't grow inside the company, and the company overall has low performance because people perform like poorly without motivation, and people generally are not that developed as they could be. Okay, so if you will embed PDP, or if you already have PDP, you will improve the PDP process, you will get this problem solved or at least improved. So there is a big value you can get out of it. And long-term process around PDP looks like that. Initially, company exposes that there is a process of PDP. Sometimes company says like everybody should pass personal development planning. Sometimes they just say, okay, you can ask for a PDP from your supervisor, and employee then asks for PDP. Then PDP is developed together with employee and supervisor. Then actions for PDP are executed by the employee, and then PDP progress is reviewed in some time, and then the process is repeated. So quite easy to on high level. Let's look at low level. So how is it created? In majority of cases, no how. Like there is no PDP creation at all. In rare cases, it looks like that, and it's not that bad. Like supervisor asks employee to prepare his goals, or employee already prepares the goals. Then supervisor helps to add some company related goals or to reframe currently existing goals or reprioritize them so that employee will be valuable to company, and then salary rise, for example, will be motivated by this improvement. And then it's defined how goal achievement is basically measured, how both employee and supervisor can understand that the goal is achieved. But it's not ideal. That's how I did it about 10 years ago, but it's not ideal. You can do even better. And a better way looks like that. First, you understand the motivation. Both employee and supervisor understands the motivation. It's not that trivial as it sounds. Then you define the goals together. Then basically it's mainly driven by employee. Then you list issues, and supervisor may help here a lot. And then you define measurable actions. The main thing that is added here is definition of the motivation and understanding of the motivation, and split between goal and issues. I will show you what it means. Let's see in more details. Okay. So usually when you plan PDP session, a person comes with some understanding of the goals, and usually they sound like that. I have a goal for data science, I have a goal for soft skills, probably a bit more actionable, but often they sound like that. And what you do first is you add like verbs to that for the goals to sound more actionable, to understand what basically a person wants to get out of this noun. And if you do this with yourself, then just pay attention to what action do you want to do with that, like what do you want to achieve. And in this case, it sounds like if it was data science, for example, it may transform to get hands-on experience on modern data learning technologies. So in this case, it's get hands-on. So like it's, for example, not become an expert, but get hands-on. And data science transforms to deep learning technologies. So this more specific formulation will help on later stages. And soft skills may transform to something like become able to drive discussions. Again, for a different person, it may be a different specific formulation. That's why it's important to be more specific here and to add actionable things. Okay, what do you do next? Usually you go to like measurable component, like, okay, how you will achieve that. But I recommend you first to go on a higher level to the motivation and ask a person like, why do you want to achieve this? What's your motivation? And it's actually a hard part. So all the times I was discussing this with guys, first formulation of motivation was quite superficial and too abstract for both for me and for them. It wasn't sounding like a personal thing. But you need to start from that, like, okay, I understand, like, what do you want? Why do you want to get it? And write it down. And next, you need to, I call this excavate the motivation, which means like you need to make it as personal as possible so that the person will actually tell like why he or she needs that, like how is it important, why is it important to them emotionally, like why is it so. And often you can reveal things like I'm afraid of something, or I want to get rid of something, or I'm happy when I do something, and that's why I want to do that. And you basically excavate it by asking questions why and getting closer to the like personal experience, like why is it important to you personally, what do you feel if you have it, and what do you feel if you don't have it. And it's a kind of magical aspect because you need to have this connection with the person to whom you help, or if you do this with yourself, you need to have this level of honesty with yourself to be able to get deeper here. And I probably will make another video on how to work with motivation and how to reveal it, but for now I will just say that it's not a one-step process. You need to formulate the initial thing and then excavate it to understand how is it connected deeply to personal motivation of a person. Okay, once you get it, you get back to the goals, right? So this motivation always like helps to understand the goals better and helps to reformulate them from the perspective of motivation. And in this case, the goals may transform like that. So this yet hands-on experience may transform to I want to fill gaps in understanding basic data science things because I have an imposter syndrome, and that's the main thing I want to achieve. So that's an example. And this thing about soft skills and driving discussions may transform to I want to drive resolution of impactful problems. And why? It's because the more complex the problem I work on, the happier I am, right? So in this case, this goal becomes more personal. And that's why we need the motivation, because it will be a kind of lighter that puts light on everything we do next. And it simplifies the next steps. Without understanding the motivation, all the consecutive steps will be very superficial and not deep at all. And they, even if they will be executed, they will be slow and person will have frustration, etc., etc. Okay, let's move next. What do we do next? You need to formulate issues per goal. It's also an important thing because often people go from the goal to action, but issues are very important here, and I will explain what it is. So you need to understand and to write down why actually this goal is important. What happens now when you don't achieve it, right? Or how do you feel about that? And they also should be very like personally felt, right? They should not be flat. But initially, when you like start to formulate the issues, they sound like quite flat. For example, like sometimes I cannot propose a solution, and we have this softness in sometimes cannot propose, or sometimes I feel not involved. So you try to smooth it, and it's okay. You try to make it soft first. Okay, that's okay. Let's write it down first. But next, you need to excavate them also. So okay, you cannot propose a solution, and what, right? What do you feel about that? Why is it bad at all? You don't propose a solution. Probably it's not important at all, but it's important because of something. And when you excavate this thing, you get to quite personal understanding, quite deep and quite like motivationally full understanding of the issue, right? For example, I'm afraid of people will like get rid of me because I don't propose new things and I just don't participate in the communication. Okay, and usually when like you formulate or a person formulates this issue, they feel a great relief because they just pull the thing to consciousness level and they like look, wow, okay, I'm afraid of that. I can work with that actually, but it's very important to say it and to write it down and look at that. It's actually each of these issues is a small insight, and the growth already starts from when you formulate the issue. Even without next steps, without actions, a person already will start to work on these issues just because now they understand it in their mind. Okay, and yeah, so and this thing with sometimes I feel not involved may transform to that I don't volunteer to drive conversations because I don't want to look silly. I'm afraid of that, and I don't want to take the responsibility. So yeah, and in order to get from this to this, you may need some iterations, and it's really great to have a supervisor here who will help you to excavate that deep. But yeah, you need to have some level of trust to do that. So that's why it's important to be like connected in your team, to be like in good relationships. So it will help you a lot here. Okay, and once you have these issues, and it's good to have at least 2 issues per goal. You can have 3 or 4. And once you have them excavated good enough, then you go to actions. And actions is more or less clear thing, so you need to think of how you can address it. So if there was a gap in understanding basic things, then it might be like completing a course. And getting these issues written down here and getting this motivation understood and written down here will help to get motivation for completing the course. So actually, if you would just jump from this initial goal to this, even if the formulation is the same, there will be much less motivation to do that. But if you go through entire process, it will be quite clear, emotionally clear, why a person should work on that, or why you should work on that if you do this for yourself. And for this driving goal, the issue is that the person is afraid. So and the action should be to like look your fear in the eyes and go against it. That's why there should be at least one action to like do things that you're afraid of. Like then probably another action will be to prepare to them to get theoretical and practical knowledge in how you do that, and then just do that. And you add more actions, so like 1, 2, 3, ideally 2 or 3 or 4 actions per goal, ideally not one. And you write them down and you put everything together, and then a person goes with this personal development plan and starts to execute actions starting from day 0, like, and then you review them and follow this process that I was showing you here. So the most hard thing here is how the PDP is developed, and I have told you my approach to that. And if you have your idea on how you do that, then please share. I would be happy to read how you do that. Okay, so I will get to bonus in a minute, and before that, if you like the video, please press like and subscribe to my channel so that you will be notified about new videos. And if you want to get a personal development session with me, message me, and I will do this for free if you will be ready to publish this on YouTube, so it will be completely free for you. If you don't want to publish it, you can still contact me and we will negotiate the terms. That's it for today, and I was happy to tell you about this because I feel this topic is quite important, and hope you will use it, hope you will benefit from it, and see you soon.